Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, we usually discuss all things culture and politics, and today's video is going to be a little bit different. One of my primary goals for this new year of 2024 is to upload a video once a week. Fortunately for me, my time has freed up quite a bit, but that is a topic for a different video on a different day. So I figured that this would be an appropriate video for the holiday week because let's talk about it. So for those who don't know, my boyfriend helps me quite a bit with all of this YouTube stuff. He's very knowledgeable in the content creation world. Oftentimes when I'm trying to think of a video idea, we kind of go back and forth and we have this inside joke where I'll ask for a topic idea and he'll say top 10 reasons I love my boyfriend. So I thought as a Christmas present this year, I would actually do it. So it seemed like an appropriate video for the week of Christmas. So before we get into it, please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you feel so inclined. You most certainly do not have to watch this video as it is made for him, but I do think in this day and age, it is always good to hear about real life examples of relationships that are actually working. I should preface this too that my boyfriend and I are pretty traditional, not entirely, but we hear so much talk about, traditional relationships and the trad life, the red pill, manosphere kind of thing. And I find a lot of that content to be kind of disingenuous. So if you are kind of more conservative minded and you are looking for a more traditional relationship, but just don't really know how to go about it because all of these stupid podcasts and red pill people are clouding your mind with a bunch of bull. Basically, this video might be worth your time to watch because I'm going to detail a lot about our relationship, and our relationship is quite successful. To be honest, we really don't fight. We get along really well. Our goals and vision for our life are really aligned quite well. So I don't know, might be worth a listen. Now that all of that is out of the way, let's get into it. Number one, when I think about all the reasons that I love my boyfriend, the first thing that comes to mind is that he is just an incredibly thoughtful and caring human being. Not just to me, but to everyone around him that he cares about. He's not an easily accessible person. Much like myself, you kind of have to prove to him why you should be in his life. But that's because when you are and when he cares about you, he will do literally anything for you. In my opinion, I think he almost does too much for people, but there's truly nothing that I love more than an intentional human being, and every single thing that he does is intentional. He will go out of his way to learn what it is that I appreciate from a partner and do it for me without question. For example, I'm quite the acts of service type person. I really appreciate acts of service type of love. So he will just do my dishes even though I beg him not to. He'll still do them. He'll take out my trash, whatever it is, he'll do it without question and not complain at all. It's he wants to do it, and that's how it should be. I feel like anyone who knows him knows that he's just an incredibly sweet, thoughtful, caring human being. Number two, my boyfriend is a very genuine, humble, authentic human being. For me, that is really important. I feel like being genuine is something a lot of people look for in a partner, but to really be a genuine person is not something that you can learn. It's just who you are. It's just your essence. And to me personally, to be called genuine is one of the most honorable characteristics that you could offer to me. So personally, I really need somebody who is a genuine and authentic person. I never question my boyfriend's motives pretty much with anything because I know his heart and it's just true, And I think it's very hard to find genuine people in this day and age, people who just do things because it's the right thing to do, people who are so just unapologetically themselves, people who don't care about what other people think about them, people who care only about what the people they care about think about them. Finding someone who is just so comfortable with who they are and who they are is just an immaculate good person is just so hard to come by, whether it's friends or a relationship, especially in this day and age where people just constantly want attention and validation from any source they can get it from. It's just hard. So I feel very lucky to have somebody that is just a genuine soul. Number 3, like I mentioned in the beginning, my boyfriend is a very traditional man. He's very family oriented, which I appreciate because I feel like I spend time with my family more than anyone, and that's important to me. And he's very much that. He's very protective. He takes care of his own. And that is something that, again, was kind of hard to come by in this day and age. And it's just something that I appreciate a lot. I've always been someone who is more traditional. I've never once had any dissonance with my kind of feminine values and energy. I find that I enjoy doing very feminine things, like obviously fashion and beauty, but cleaning, organizing, cooking, things of that nature. I'm the type of person who wants the man to take the lead. But unfortunately for me, I have let a lot of bad men lead me in the past. So I feel very fortunate now to have somebody to lead me that is a good, genuine person. Somebody who only wants the best for both of us and is not going to lead me down a bad path like in the past. But I wouldn't say that we are the most traditional people. I work a typical corporate job and I like working. I definitely feel like I'm more goal-oriented of a person than a lot of women, and that's fine. But generally speaking, I just appreciate the tradition. I'm not interested in sharing my boyfriend with other people, for example. I don't like open relationships. I don't like any of that, right? And I never have to worry about that with him because we are both just on the same page about it. Number 4, my boyfriend is incredibly talented and hardworking, which is enormously important to me. There is truly nothing more attractive in a man than someone who is hardworking. I'm sorry. Work ethic says a lot about you. He will be out on the road for weeks at a time, sometimes months at a time, where he does not get a single second off. It is a constant grind. And I know how much work it is. It is not something I could ever do. I don't think it's something that most people could do. And he does it simply because he wants to provide the best life for me and his family that he possibly can. We live in a time where so many men are just so complacent, staying in one place in their life. It's kind of hard and rare to find somebody who is actually like a hustler. Personally, I'm all about getting that money, and I just could not be with somebody who isn't on the same wavelength. And part of the reason that I feel like I am so attracted to him is because he's way more of a go-getter than I am. And that's what I would want in a relationship. I don't want a guy who is on my level. I want somebody who is above me so that I can aspire to, that inspires me to be on a higher level myself. I've always known that I was supposed to do great things in my life, and I just simply could not be with somebody who doesn't feel the same way about their own life. So being with somebody who wants to build an empire, if you will, is just something that I love so much about him and just feel very grateful to have. 5, one of the most amazing things about my boyfriend and that he has done for me that I never expected is his faith in God and therefore bringing me to God. I always knew that God existed, but I never had a relationship with him, and I never understood him like I do now. This is what I mean when I say it's important to have a man that leads you in the right direction. There's many paths a man can lead you on, but a path that leads you to a real genuine relationship with God is priceless. This probably should have been the number 1 thing on my list, but whatever, it wasn't, because I don't even know who I would be without God at this point. His faith and his love for Christ inspires me so much. I think the point that I remember really falling in love with him was asking him what brought him to God, and just this explanation of a spiritual warfare that we have going on right now in society. And it just made so much sense. And to me, it was just really something I had never heard before, but was so true. It's not often that I hear perspectives on the world that really make me think. I don't say that to sound cocky. It's just true. I feel like I've heard it all. In this conversation, I had just never thought about the world that way before. And that was just one of those moments where I realized okay, this person thinks on the same level that I do, which is really big and really deep. Personally, that is what I seek out the most in a partnership, whether it's friends or romantically, is I need somebody that I can connect with on a seriously deep level, because most people are shallow. Let's be honest. Most people are very shallow. They're very surface level, and it's just really unrelatable to me. It's really unattractive, and I just really want nothing to do with it. So aside from his belief in God, just his soul and how deep he is probably the number 1 most important thing to me in regards to our relationship. Number 6, this. My boyfriend is incredibly loyal and reliable and trustworthy. I think all of us have had a relationship where our partners were none of those things, and it's just so traumatic and devastating, and it's just one of those things that I never wanted to deal with ever again. And the fact that my boyfriend can be gone on the road around tons of fangirls and things for, 3 to 4 weeks at a time, and I simply just have no doubts or worries in the back of my mind about him doing anything that would betray my trust is honestly incredible. Because again, in this day and age, like, good luck, buddy. This just goes to show you, ladies, good men do exist. If you want someone who's going to be faithful to you, I can tell you the biggest signifiers you're going to have to look for. He's probably going to be Christian, and he's probably going to be conservative, because that's simply just what our faith teaches. Being loyal and trustworthy, committed, and reliable is very important, specifically in relationships. It's laid out in the Bible. This is one of the things that I love about him so much. More than just not having to worry about if he's going to mess around on me, I can rely on him for anything. If I left my garage door open and I'm at work and I can't come back to my house to close it, I can call him at 9 in the morning when he's still sleeping, and he will come over to my house and do that for me. Like, no questions asked. If I'm short on money and I don't get paid for another week, he can give me some money. I can trust that when he's around my family, he's not going to say something stupid or make a bad impression or reflect me poorly. These are just really important things that will come up in your everyday life all the time. So finding somebody who is reliable and trustworthy and committed to you and loyal to you is so important, and I feel very grateful that I have that with him. Number 7, I think my boyfriend is hilarious. I feel like my boyfriend and I spend most of the time laughing. If we're not having some conversation about politics or, society and culture, we are either watching Pokemon, catching Pokemon, or laughing. You need to have fun and joy and laughter in your relationship. This is the person you're going to be around a majority of your time. And if you guys can't have fun together and laugh together and just giggle together, whatever, then what are you doing? These are the moments in life that make life worth living. Because life is hard, right? Life is mostly suffering, because our life here on earth is not the point. The point is the next life. So having those little moments and those little pockets of joy like that are the reason why we keep enduring the pains and suffering of life. And to have somebody that you can laugh with, have fun with, it's so important. And I know it seems not that important, but like, it is. If we can't banter with one another and keep up with each other and outwit each other or whatever, then I don't want it, simply put. So I'm just happy that we can do all that. Number 8, something that I really appreciate about my boyfriend is he is a visionary. Like I said, I have always known that I was supposed to do great things in my life. And ever since I was young, I've always had a vision of what I wanted to accomplish in this world, what I wanted my impact to be, and having a vision of that and being a visionary, seeing the bigger picture and the impact of what you can contribute to the world is not how everybody is, right? And my boyfriend truly is a visionary. And that's one thing I really love and appreciate about him. He's a very motivated, inspirational person. He's not lazy. He inspires me to work harder. He inspires me to be better. One of the best things about our relationship, I think, is because we are both visionaries, we can kind of like fuse and bind our visions together for an even greater vision, an even greater purpose. I think that's very rare and very difficult to find, especially in our relationship. Like, our visions and goals are so aligned that it just like becomes a superpower in of itself and on its own. And I don't think many people get to experience that in life with their romantic partner. Many people have created, incredible partnerships and changed the world, right? But to be able to do that with your partner is like next level. If you don't adore the person that you are with, then they're not the right person for you. And in order to adore someone, they have to challenge you, right? And that's exactly what he does. So again, just very appreciative of that. Number 9, as much as I love this about my boyfriend, it can also be quite irritating sometimes, but he is one of the most intellectually smartest, most resourceful people I've ever met. I feel completely comfortable calling him an intellectual. I do not grace that title onto many people, but he definitely is that, almost to the point where it's like annoying sometimes because he just knows so much about so many things. Like I said before, I cannot imagine being with somebody that I cannot have, you know, deep intellectual, substantial conversations with. I don't know how to describe this, but when I feel like I'm really like getting on a level with someone and we're really relating to one another, like really challenging each other mentally and really stimulating each other's like thought processes, there's this like rush, this like literal physical feeling that I get where I know that like this is like a real true connection. I've only felt that with a very few select people in my life. And obviously, you know, he is one of them. And that is one of those things that I chase. That's a healthy feeling to chase. It's not just oxytocin. It's not just honeymoon, you know, first 3 months of dating kind of love feeling that you chase. Like that is a real substantial thing that can stand the test of time. And that is another one of those things I don't think a lot of people find in their life. So if you do find that, you have to keep it. And I feel that my boyfriend and I have that connection in our relationship, probably more than any other relationship I've ever had, whether it's romantic or friendships or whatever. In this brain dead society that we live in, where nobody ever challenges their thoughts or their ideologies, they'd rather just scroll TikTok and, you know, exploit their dopamine gland. I appreciate his intellect and his intelligence so much. Why would you not want to date somebody who's smarter than you? Don't you want to be challenged? I simply would accept no less in my relationship. But like I said, it's very hard to find people of, if not the most important thing about a relationship to me. And number 10, the last one on the list, top 10 reasons that I love my boyfriend. He is very romantic. Princess treatment, if you will. So many men have lost the art of romance and chivalry, and it's just so sad. In a lot of ways, I can't blame them because women these days don't really create an environment that is conducive to romance. But I think a woman who consciously is always trying to better herself and work on what she can bring to the table deserves romance. I just feel so lucky that I get to experience that. Something that I really subscribe to when it comes to relationships is to never stop dating. I think most couples who, you know, have been married for 40, 50 years, have successful relationships. They keep the romance alive. They never stop dating because obviously you're going to get a little comfortable and a little complacent. But if you aren't intentional about how you treat your partner, that's when things start to fall apart. It's important to make sure that they always feel special and that, you know, your love and adoration for them is the same as it was, if not better or deeper. My boyfriend does an amazing job of making sure that I know that. And I just really appreciate a romantic partner and someone who makes you feel special all the time. So I feel incredibly lucky and blessed that I have that. All right, y'all, that was kind of a short video, I know, but this was just a gift to my boyfriend, and this will live forever on the internet. And hopefully as this channel grows, it'll just be kind of fun to like have this here forever imprinted on the internet. And it's also kind of fun because he helps me do all this YouTube stuff. And spoiler, we're probably going to start a podcast next week, but you didn't hear that from me. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it this far, I appreciate it. We will continue with normal content next week, critiquing this insane upside down world, woke culture, communist hellscape. And I appreciate the support I've gotten the past couple videos. It means a lot. Have an amazing, blessed Christmas. Spend time with your family and your romantic partner if you have one. Make sure that you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you feel so inclined, and I will see you guys in another video soon. Bye.